So I've been asked to make a quick video about how an entrepreneur adds value, and I've decided to have a look at the concept of leveraging, which is something that entrepreneurs are asked to do to show some value out there in the community. So basically, the picture reflects it all, which is the idea that if you've got the correct lever, you can actually create a lot more lift than a person normally could. So what I'm going to do is have a quick look at some of the key concepts and try and simplify out what we're working with. So an entrepreneur is trying to combine three things, which is capital, so that's stuff that can be used, people, which is the people that use stuff, and innovation, so a new or novel idea or a different way of approaching something. So this is how I tend to try and think of how I work as an entrepreneur, is trying to think about all of the capital inputs that I have, the people that are keen to work and do stuff in that area and finding those sorts of people, and finally trying to understand or have a really good grasp on the innovations which are available to us, which apply to the people that are in the group and to the capital that we have. So let's have a look at each different area. With people, the first question is, who are they? This is really, really important because people are wide and varied, and it's not just a matter of getting good people. One of the things that I've really found is that you've got to find people not that just are good, but people that are passionate about doing something in relation to the capital or innovations that you've got available within your company. So it's not just about going out there and finding the best people ever. It's about finding people that are a real match for the stuff that the company has and the innovations that the company makes available. The second thing is, what do they cost? And this is really important for the people question, because people don't cost money so much as they cost something to everyone else in the group. And that's something that I've really found, is that if you find people that are a good match for the group, then the cost of them, the human cost of them, is actually a positive cost, in that you gain from adding someone that's a correct match for the group. But if you find someone that's not a match for the group and you bring them in, then what it costs is, it costs the enthusiasm of the other people in the group. And what value do they add? Well, this is the thing with people, is, if you set them up right, they can add massive value. And if you set them up wrong, they can actually subtract value. So it's very volatile with people. You have to be really, really careful about this. But the main thing that people add to a business that capital and innovation can't add, that I find, is passion. They actually add a humanity to the product that you're trying to put out there for the community. The other thing that people add is also they add their ideas and their enthusiasm, their innovations, and also quite often those people will come to add capital to your company as well. So they're a really, really important ingredient. The next thing I want to look at is capital. What is it? Most people say capital is money, but the thing that I always remind myself is capital is stuff. And that's why I've put an aircraft carrier, because I like aircraft carriers. They're like the biggest representation of stuff. It's like a city built to float on the water. So capital is the stuff that you use to get things done. So it can be bricks and mortar, it can be systems that you own, or computer programs, or all these different things. How much does it cost? Well, the thing to remember with capital is it doesn't cost what it costs in money. It costs the opportunity cost of having it. So if you've got something, you've got to ask yourself, could it be better used somewhere else? So if you're using something really, really well, it's not actually a cost to your business. If you're using something well, it's actually a negative cost. It adds value to your business. But if you're using something in your business, a capital item, in a way that's not efficient, or if the capital item could be used better in someone else's business, then it becomes a cost. And what value does capital add? Well, capital is the stuff that allows you to get things done. So, a trucking company doesn't do much good if it doesn't have any trucks. So the value that the capital adds is in proportion to how well the capital is applied. And this is something to remember, is that it doesn't really matter how much capital you have. What matters is how well you use it. And the final thing is innovation. And I've put a light globe here because I don't know if there's any other innovation that's changed the world quite like the light globe. I just can't imagine a world before it, running with little coal and kerosene lamps and having to ship fuel everywhere. And now we just have a little wire that goes in and powers anything that we want. So innovation is a new or novel idea, and it's a new or novel idea that can be applied to the capital and the people that are in a business in a way that allows them to add more value. And what does innovation cost? Well, that's one of the cool things about innovation is a human creative force. And so it costs as little or as much as you want it to cost. And it doesn't have to cost anything. But what it does cost is your intelligence and the intelligence of your people. So to innovate is something that really costs you nothing. But at the end of the day, if it's not done in the right way, then it's not going to be productive. Because the thing is, innovation is not just good ideas. Innovation is figuring out something within your people or your capital structure which can be done in a different way, which is going to make all the difference to your customer. So it's much more specific than just I had this great idea. It's much more looking and analysing what's the stuff that we have and who are the people in our group and how could we do this in a completely different way that would make the customer go, wow, I'm not going to go anywhere else. This is exactly what I need, and it's just being done in a way that no one's thought of before. And it's the thing that gives you a competitive advantage so that people will really use your business in preference to other people. So what value does innovation add? Well, innovation can make all the difference in a business in terms of your ability to differentiate from your customer and also the ability to differentiate your business for your people that actually work there. So this is why people really like to work for Google, is because there's always new things coming up there and cool stuff to play with. So that's just something for you to think about, that innovation isn't just about the customer, it's also about the people in your company. So I've been mentioning companies a lot, and I just wanted to have a look at the idea of a company and what it is. And when most people think about companies, here's a photo of Oracle in really, really bad resolution. They think of a building where people go to work, or they think of a big company, Coca-Cola or Apple or all these sorts of things. And I want to challenge your thinking a little bit as an entrepreneur to think about the term company and maybe think about it in a different way. So why do they exist? Well, here is a very well-known entrepreneur and CEO called Jack Donaghy, who's from a documentary called 30 Rock. I know that he looks like Alec Baldwin, the comedy actor, but this guy would tell you in no uncertain terms that the purpose of a company is to maximize the return on capital investment while minimizing risk. So that is a very traditional sort of financial view of why a company exists, to take the capital and invest it in a way that gives a maximum return on the capital that's there and minimizes the risk to the people that are in charge of the capital, the people that own the capital. So that's a very traditional view, and what I want to do today is just challenge you a little bit about what a company is and why it exists. So here's an alternative view, which is that a company exists to allow staff to leverage their skills using innovation, capital and cooperation. I've put up some pictures here. The second one across, just the one over here, is some Cape hunting dogs, and these crew are my favourite team. I used to look at them a lot when I was studying at university and just watch the way that they behaved. Each of these dogs, they live out on the African savannah, and each of these dogs could never survive on their own, but they cooperate in packs, and you can see that they've brought down a wildebeest there. Now, this is not like a wolf. A wolf can, bring down something on its own. These dogs can't do anything on their own. But when they cooperate, when they innovate, and when they leverage what they have, then they do really, really well. They build little structures together. They sleep all in a pack to, keep themselves warm and keep themselves safe. And the thing that I like about this picture is, look at this guy here. Yeah, there's specialization in this group. These guys have brought down the kill, they're eating, this guy's supervising and make sure nothing else is going to come and take the kill or injure any of the other crew, and then he's going to get his turn to eat. This is actually looking at cooperation at its best. Now, here's some other ways to think about a company. Here's a company of heroes, and here's a company of heroes. So what I want you to really think about is the term company and what you make it mean. Because for me, a company is all about the people that you keep company with, the people that you cooperate with, and that you use the things that exist on this earth to innovate with and actually provide value for other people. So what does it all mean? Well, first of all, entrepreneurs really have a responsibility, if they want to be an entrepreneur, to ensure a sustainable competitive advantage for their stakeholders. And their stakeholders are three different groups of people. There's the shareholders, the people that own the capital, but also, very importantly, there's the staff, the actual company, the people that actually make all the capital work with the innovation. And the third group to think about is really your customers as well. They really rely on you for a service, and you actually bring them value. So without you, they're worse off. And so ensuring that you've always got this advantage and that you're really applying smart innovations to capital in a way that works for the people that work in the company is really, really important for everyone involved. It's absolutely fundamental. And entrepreneurs have to bring these ingredients to bear on a need for the client in a way that adds value for investors, clients, and staff. And keeping this balance, we see this all the time with companies. You give too much back to the investors and you starve your staff. Your staff leave, and then the investors miss out. If the company closes down because the staff aren't doing the right thing, then it's the clients who really suffer because they miss out. And so the entrepreneur's job is to work between these three different groups and really try and make sure that the client's getting what they need and they're really getting some value on the front line. That the staff are getting value and they're having a great time and the company's allowing them to leverage their skills in a way that they couldn't do on their own. And finally, to make sure that the investors are getting a return on the capital, because they've put the capital there. If it's not well applied, they'll move that capital somewhere else where it is better applied, because that's what they need to do. That's how the economy works. So I hope this gives you a bit of an idea of what an entrepreneur is trying to do to balance these three needs of the people that are in charge of the capital, the stakeholders in terms of the staff, and also looking at the client and then trying to serve their need as best that they can.